money flooding in to be available. The industry has always had probably too much money available for the number of great programs demanding it. It all goes back to where are the social entrepreneurs, where are the folks with vision who are changing the manner in which we build a business model, build a vision for how we're going to address, 25 million. I was struck by that number, 25 million micro enterprises in the States. I don't think I knew it was that many. That's plenty of folks, right? In terms of a market, that's plenty of folks to think of as a market. Yet I think we're counting our numbers in the thousands, right? We're not even in tens and tens of thousands. And so there's a huge disconnect. I support a family member who is mathematically challenged, and the rest of us spend some of our personal time trying to make sure he stays out of bankruptcy because of so many credit opportunities and opportunities he has to get over indebted and become bankrupt. And so what's the disconnect? Why is there apparently so much money available and yet 25 million people can't get something that we feel they need? So this goes back to what's next. What's next strikes me as where are the folks who are really getting to the heart of what the families require that we care about in terms of financial services. I like the fact that we started with understanding the client a little bit more. Globally, we're starting to return, now that we've built great institutions, to look at the poor household. What are their financial flows? What kinds of products do they have? What are their financial goals? And how can we help? What's the value proposition that is really going to resonate with 25 million people? What aren't they getting? It's not what don't they have. It's what do they need? What do we think they need that we can do better than credit cards at 28%, than a supplier credit, than any number of other things people must have in those households? Where's a really sharp focus on the value proposition of this community vis-a-vis what people already have? Sometimes we talk too much about what they don't have. Well, they don't have a small business loan. Yeah, okay, but they must be financing themselves somehow. And where's the deficit there, and what do we know that could really, really address it? Is it just a term and interest rate? If we can support folks who have a vision for how to do it differently, then we make progress. And that's what's always been, I think, globally, the way we've advanced. Successive waves of social entrepreneurs who are thinking differently about how do they address a problem and thinking about it at scale.
Well, and I think, from the people so far that have said things, I think I'm hearing that we are ready. We're ready to support the people who are planning and working on growing to scale. And we will do our part. And it's time to get Connie, Tammy, and the other people who just say, hey, I want to be a part of the discussion to step up now so that you can tell us what is it? Because it's got to be organized. So what is the ABC? What is it that we, as providers and all of our clients, what can we do to help support systemic change that's going to make it to where more and more people get what they need?
Well, I do, excuse me, I do want to add to this final piece of the conversation in terms of what's next and what does the plan look like. Clearly, we're still engaging people to help us take this plan forward, to take the recommendations forward. We've heard some really great ideas here. We've heard that we should maybe think about forming a virtual network. Where are those institutions who are ready to stand with us now and say, I'm willing to make change, I'm willing to try to help drive this forward, come together and be part of a virtual network that can not only help set that vision, hold the vision, but also be able to move forward with these recommendations. So that's a piece that we are ready to play with now. AEO is ready to help support a virtual network that can help move the recommendations forward. So we're looking for those institutions who want to take bold steps, who are ready to think outside of how they're doing things now to do things differently and hold on to this vision that can move forward. We're looking for those organizations and institutions who are willing to also say, I want to reimagine technical assistance. We'll need people to take on pilots. You've heard different members of the panels today talk about how you have to take some steps. We need to practice, we need to experiment, we need to pilot before we can take some things to scale. We need partners with us who are willing to take on some of these new products, new services, new delivery models, and be willing to experiment with us and do some of these pilots to really reimagine TA so that we'll have the impact. We need people who will go with us to on the Hill and to the administration. We have a real clear commitment from Treasury to continue this engagement, to even step up this engagement. And so this was great. They know we're not speaking just, for ourselves, that we represent a community. But it is important that they always know that that community is really behind what we're saying, what we're doing. And so as the woman from WIBIC, I'm sorry I don't do names, but the woman from WIBIC who talked, we need you when we send out those alerts to get your signature or to write your congressman. We really need you to do that. That's part of the next steps. We also need you as part of the next steps to talk to funders, talk to investors. You can say fund AEO, that's nice, but talk to them about the changes, the structural changes that are needed in our industry if this industry is really going to play its relevant role in helping to create jobs for our communities. Funders and investors need to hear from you that you support the strategies, the structural changes that we are asking for, the infrastructure that we're trying to build. It can't just be AEO talking. They need to hear it from you. They support you. They need to know that you are behind the structural change to really to end joblessness in this country, to make the 1 in 3 aspiration a reality. Those are the things we're going to continue to work on. For those of you who have stayed, we really appreciate it. We want you to be engaged. We want to constantly hear your feedback on the recommendations. We have a committed team of people who are going to help us keep moving this forward, and we want you to be part of that. I think that actually will close our conference. I think it's been an amazing 3 days. We have covered an awful lot of ground, and all of it is so important and critical. We appreciate and we want you to continue to support this work. We want to continue to support you in doing the work in your local communities. Go home inspired, go home and be happy. And before you do that, of course, help me thank this last panel for their wonderful advice and expertise. Travel safely, come back next year. We'll be in Washington, D.C., and stay engaged throughout the rest of the time. Take care, everyone. Good evening.